All right, man. So we're doing another episode of the Music Retail Show, and this is actually a first. So we are in the Gibson Garage, and Mark Agnesi, Director of Brand Experience. Man, great to meet you. Great to be here. And holy cow, man, this place is amazing.
That is the correct reaction. Yes,
I mean,
thank you.
yeah, like,
Welcome to the Gibson Garage, man.
You know, when I walked in here, I was like, okay, I have to save my reaction a little bit for when we start talking, but this place is insane. I mean, insane.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of stuff to see here.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
is.
Don't want to pack as much cool stuff per square foot, and anywhere you look, you'll spot something cool that you got to go check out.
yeah, absolutely. So the great thing about this is this is soon to be an experience for the public.
This is coming very, very soon. It will probably be opening here shortly for private shopping by appointment.
Okay.
And we're very much looking towards a grand opening to the public here in the early part of the summer.
Yeah.
It's kind of a moving target.
Yeah, won't throw
but,
out any
yeah,
dates.
It's
but,
a moving
know.
target still due to the current climate, but
Yeah.
the way things are going and moving forward right now, we're very, very hopeful that early this summer
Yeah.
we'll be able to open the doors and let everybody come in and see this place.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, obviously, when I came in, I got a tour of the place.
Yeah.
I even maybe got a little bit of a tour of some places that won't be open to the public. That was cool. But, you know, people can come here. They can learn the history of Gibson and the Gibson brands. They can see every aspect of all the years. Just give me a rundown of everything that you can see when you come in this place.
Yeah, this is it's like the NAMM show on steroids,
I
24
believe
hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to create a place that if someone was interested could come in and pick up anything across any one of our brands, whether it's Gibson USA, Gibson Acoustic, Gibson Custom, Epiphone, Kramer, KRK, and now Mesa Boogie. It's here. You can physically put your hands on it. You can play it. You can hear it. You can do the whole thing. It's also really a place to tell the brand story. So there's, I don't want to say a history museum, but there's some very cool historical pieces in here. There's also a lot of brand storytelling across all the brands in here. So from the biggest guitar aficionado in the world that knows it down to the nuts and bolts and screws to the kids or, you know, friends who happen to be traveling with them that really don't even care about guitars, by the time they leave here, they will understand the gravity of the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so, you know, the showroom kind of aspect of it, the history museum and storytelling aspect of it, it's a live venue. We're sitting here on the stage right now. It's a live streaming space. It's a broadcast space. It is a custom shop, build your own guitar space. And then it's also a private artist relations center here, which is more of a private space. But that's also within these walls. And you never know. Yeah. Never know who might be back there.
No, absolutely. And yeah, and just looking around, I mean, yeah, if you're ever a fan of Orville in any way, shape, or form, you got to come here. You can see some of the pieces. In fact, you actually showed me the last mandolin that was ever worked on.
I have the first mandolin that has ever been documented that Orville made in 1894, and I have the last mandolin here as well from 1906, which was the last mandolin he made under the Gibson name. I have a harp guitar here that he made in 1907 that's absolutely stunning. I've got the butterfly guitar, which people who are into this stuff have probably seen in a bunch of books. And I've got Lloyd Loar mandolins, and I have the first guitar ever played on television, that Advanced Jumbo from 38 in there right now, as well as all of our current product. And it's always going to change. Yeah. So even if you live here in Nashville and you come once a month, it'll be kind of a different experience every time you come back.
And you said, you know, current models. I mean, you showed me over there in the Epiphone department. I mean, you can walk in here and see every model that you could possibly get your hands on.
And Kramer as well. It really to create that experience where, like, I'm into this. I want to go see, where can I go see the best selection of Epiphones? Where can I go see the best selection of Kramers and make up my mind? If you come here, you get to see it, all of them. You get to play all of them. And if I don't have it on the wall, there's a good chance it's floating around the room here on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of the '84 Beretta.
As am I.
And I know as are you. You've actually owned one, man. I mean, why has that model kind of stood the test of time?
It stood the test of time because that's the model that kind of ignited that flame to begin with, you know, that single pickup, hot rodded Floyd guitar in a wild finish.
That's right.
started the whole 80s guitar revolution. So it's only fitting that it would go back to where it all started. It always does. And that's the guitar.
Yeah, the colors on it are great. And of course, some of the graphics in the past.
Graphics are coming here soon, and very excited about some of the graphics.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I'm telling you what, I'm just blown away by the place. Obviously, we have some video going on. So, Gibson TV has also been a huge project of yours.
That was,
for
aside from this place, the last 2 years, Gibson TV has really taken off exactly how we hoped it would, and we have a lot of things planned, some new series planned. I mean, I think we have 12 shows that we're producing right now, different series. I think we have 3 or 4 more in production right now. And then I also just filmed this week the pilot episode of the new giveaway show that I'll be doing here from the garage every week, where I'll be giving away a Gibson guitar to somebody every single week on Gibson TV. I did it with Epiphones last April when everyone was in quarantine. I gave away an Epiphone every day from like my living room that I filmed myself on my 6-year-old's iPad. We've upped the production value a little bit more.
Looks a little bit better now.
I don't have to stick my computer up to the screen to show the names. It'll actually be here on the Jumbotron and stuff. So that'll be premiering actually next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And we'll continue on for the foreseeable future. I've gone and gotten myself into it again. I'm back to doing guitars on the internet again.
I know, and you've got a history of doing that. But so obviously you mentioned last year, 2020, man, it was a weird year. COVID hit, and man, I'm actually kind of interested to hear. You guys were already going through somewhat of a transition, anyways. There was a changing of the guard over the last several years. Maybe that prepared you a little bit to take on COVID and everything that happened in 2020, but how did you guys adapt? What did you guys see that was going on?
Well, the first thing that we did was we said, let's plan for significant impact.
Yeah.
Our factories got closed. Most of our dealers were closed. Let's plan for significant impact.
Nobody knew what was going to happen.
Nobody knew. But while we plan for significant impact, let's start to look at potential possibilities, plan for impact, but prepare for opportunity. And, there were some rough months, and then we started to get midsummer, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, here's this opportunity. More people are picking up guitars right now than ever before.
Yeah.
There's more interest. I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 years ago was the article about the death of the electric guitar.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And now we're in this renaissance of the electric guitar.
That's right.
And now it's a, how can we make more guitars? How can we, we just announced the expansion of our Montana factory.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cause it's much needed. I mean, people want Gibson acoustic guitars more than we can produce, which is a great problem to have, but it's a problem. And we're addressing that problem, and we're trying to get more guitars in the hands of people who want them. And,
well,
the guitar is not dead, and people keep saying rock and roll is dead and all that stuff. And you have to go with the amount of people picking up a guitar for the first time right now. How could they not do anything? Obviously there's a new wave of players coming. That new wave of players will reignite with guitar music again. It's all coming back exactly how everyone hoped it would, but nobody thought it would. COVID really was, I think, a great in how you want to say it. For the guitar, it was a great thing that happened because people all of a sudden had time, they had energy to put towards stuff. And
those stimulus checks hit, and people, guitar players, they
they already know what that's going.
They can't let cash sit in their pocket. You got to buy a guitar, an amp, a pedal, or something. So it literally it changed the landscape of everything. So, but it took a couple months. I mean, obviously, if you're bracing for impact, you're pulling back a little bit.
Well, there's not much you can do when your factory's closed.
Yeah.
We were already back ordered on guitars as it was. It's not like we have an inventory of stuff that we can just keep shipping from. I mean, guitars were hot anyway. The original and modern collection were hot. They were selling, and we were keeping up with an order book, and then all of a sudden the factories are closed. So, we planned for impact. We made our way through it and came out the other side much, much stronger as a company. Communication's never been better. The ways we're working together have never been better. we've found some ways to do things better in that time, you know.
Yeah.
And even when we weren't together and we were all sitting at home talking on Microsoft Teams, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you guys have I love how you've gotten into the artists. It seems like you've added more artists. Seeing Dave Mustaine come on board is pretty freaking cool.
Yes, it is.
Man, I never met the guy, but I heard he's a lovely person.
Yes, Dave's
so how did that whole relation come into being?
That was something that you know, obviously Dave lives here in town, and him and Cesar, our CMO, had become friends and started talking, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're talking more things, and he wants to be a part of it, and he just kind of saw what else was going on and wanted to be a part of it. And we're happy to have him, and it was one of those things that I just wanted to shout it from the rooftop for a month or two there, and it's nice that the cat's, you know, finally out of the bag and we can talk about it, because it's pretty cool. Another one of my heroes growing up is on the roster, and you know, get to go over to his house and drop stuff off and hang out, and he'll play me cuts from the new record, and it's like, is this happening right now?
Yeah,
it
man.
It is. You know?
If you go back to, I mean, the Symphony of Destruction and Euthanasia, those two albums when I was younger,
huge,
they were
for me.
huge. I mean, they were on all the time. My buddies and I, they were on in the car. So, you know, anything Dave Mustaine, you know, anything Megadeth, all of that is just pretty freaking cool. So, but what are some other artists that you guys have just added on recently that are of note?
Well, Gene Simmons, of course, is another big one, and Gene's another one that's like, I did an interview with him when we announced it, and it's like, I'm looking at my calendar of stuff to do today, and I see like noon, interview Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah. How does my calendar look like
I'm
that?
going to sit down and interview Gene Simmons right now. But I mean, there's obviously some other ones in the works that I would love to tell you about, but I can't tell you about yet. But there are going to be some oh my God moments when those get released, and there's always something. I mean, Jerry Cantrell is another huge one, and just another massive influence on a whole generation of guitar players. And his first signature model hopefully will be coming soon later this year.
Man, I wish I could have seen that. I saw them after Lane Staley had passed away, but man, just killer guitar player. I mean, you go back and listen to that album Dirt, and I believe he was playing that Gibson, that Les Paul
Wine
on that
Red Les
album.
Paul Custom.
Yeah, man, and just the guitar tone on that album is legendary in my opinion.
Yeah, we have the Tom Petty Wild, which is a close one to my heart. The Tom Petty Wildflowers J200, which should be shipping any week now.
Okay.
Which is just absolutely stunning, stunning J200 guitar.
And of course, Mark, I can't have a conversation and be here without bringing up the fact that Slash was pretty influential in my life. So the fact
I think Slash is pretty influential in all of our lives. Yeah.
I know. But just the collection that you guys have done with him, I think, man, shows a lot of respect. I love the guitars, and well done. So.
Yeah, no, it's very, very cool. The Slash acoustics are great as well, and coming soon here later this year is the entire Epiphone collection of Slash guitars. Yeah. So all the same models in the inspired by Gibson format from Epiphone, and they're killer. They're absolutely killer guitars. I'm very excited.
So, you know, obviously you guys had to adapt. You pulled back. You had to adapt in 2020, but then later on you realize, oh crap, we got to put on the gas pedal. What are some ways that you guys felt like you could reach out to, you know, you dealers? You've got this whole entire, you know, Gibson brand's base of dealers out there, and they're probably going, oh, what's going on? What are we doing? What are ways that you guys connected with them?
Well, having face-to-face interaction was not necessarily possible, and obviously Summer NAMM was canceled, and Winter NAMM was canceled. So we started connecting with all of our dealers around the globe via these calls that we would do, where we would present them in real time everything that was coming, everything that we were working on, and they were 2-hour calls. Sometimes we would do 3 or 4 a day.
Like with individual dealers or group of
sometimes
dealers?
with individual dealers, sometimes with a region of dealers, sometimes within a country worth of dealers. But there was like, you know, it was nuts with like 36 2-hour phone calls to give the same presentation over.
Oh my goodness.
But connecting and getting real-time feedback from the dealers and having them in the loop of when this new product is coming and what we're working on and why we're doing it and how this all plays into this plan, and just really staying in instead of trying to do it twice a year in the craziness that is the NAMM show, really sitting down and getting to talk to everybody and getting real-time feedback was that was one thing that we did that was a huge time commitment, but I think it really paid off. Yeah. And I think it's paid off for the dealers too, because they know now what's coming, what to expect, how to plan for it, how we're planning on launching it.
Is that something they're coming to expect? Is that something I think
it's something we're expecting now. Like, why wouldn't we do this? Why should we wait till January and July to get together with everybody and let them know what's coming, So I think this is something that's one of those things that came out of COVID that I don't know if it's ever going to go away, because it's too right to get rid. It worked out so much better than we anticipated. That I think we'll always do it now. Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, then with the amount of new guitar players coming on the market, you obviously saw an avenue to reach them as well. So you guys launched a new app.
Yeah, the Gibson app was a work that took quite a heavy lift, but it's officially out now. It's free in the App Store. It combines a few things, a little bit of Gibson TV. It's kind of like a Netflix for all the shows that we're producing, and you can kind of go on and watch any episode of the Gibson TV stuff. It's got a tuner built in, shopping through all the brands built in, but then also we partnered with Amped, which was a learning software, and Amped is powering this very cool augmented reality style of guitar learning, which almost feels like it feels like you're playing a video game, but you're getting feedback in real time, and you progress at your own pace based on real time feedback that the AR is giving you. It's a pretty cool way to learn guitar.
That's right. And it actually, and I think it's a long time coming. I think as the internet, gained more and more and more traction, guitar sales more and more happen over the internet. I think a lot of times people were going, how do we still connect with the end user? How do we still involve them? Don't just get a guitar in their hand, but how do we keep them as a lifelong?
How do you keep the guitar in their hand?
That's right.
Because, there was some statistic that I saw that, 8 out of 10 new guitars that are sold end up in a closet.
8 out of 10.
Something like that, 6 months after they're purchased. Yeah. So it's up to us to keep them engaged, to keep them feeling energized about the experience, to keep them wanting to pick it up and play it far past this COVID situation when life goes back to normal, that they want to sit down and engage with the guitar. They don't want to just, that was a thing and it ends up in the closet again.
Yeah. Which I'm sure a lot of what you guys have done over the years too has probably gone into, how do we reach guitar players? I know that, some of your guitars, you're trying to keep that iconic guitar, the 50 standards, 60 standards, but still making them a little bit more new, a little bit more fresh to be something new that you can present.
That's why we kind of rearranged the collections in 2019. So now that there's the original collection and the modern collection, and we've done that now across all brands. Acoustic is original and modern. Epiphone has original and modern. Kramer has original and modern. Where for the purists that they just want a Les Paul standard, the original collection has a Les Paul standard. We're not going to mess with it. It's the specs that you would expect that guitar to have. But for them, people who want something different and fresher, they want something that's got weight relief on it, or has different neck profiles, or different fingerboard radiuses, or locking tuners. Now you have a Les Paul modern, and that gives us permission to continue to try new things and to innovate new things without touching the standard. Yeah. The standard's the standard, and it will always be the standard. That's right. That's I think that's kind of really how we organize that. So, the standard's not something new every single year. you know, and you never know exactly what standard you're buying. It's called the standard for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a standard.
You know, I thought it was kind of funny too on when you were doing the video for releasing like the 50s, and you said, "Hey, look at the headstock." Yep, you got to tune them yourself.
Got to tune it yourself, man.
Well, I just thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I
try.
I kid.
You kid.
know,
that's right. But anyways, I think that's great. But also, one of the coolest things that I saw when I walked in here is you have the Murphy Lab.
Yeah,
and it's pretty much insane. I mean, you can go in there and you can build a guitar from top to bottom.
It's a whole custom shop experience, which, or we call it the made to measure bar. So made to measure is our true custom platform, not just models and stuff. And there really is no customer experience where the customer can pick their wood. You know, we have select dealers that will fly out here and they're going to do a run of 25 guitars and they'll come to the custom shop and go in the wood locker and sort through 2,500 maple tops and pick the 25 that they want. And then their customers are, you know that they're getting hand selected wood. But this is a different experience. When you come to the Gibson Garage, you actually get to hand select the piece of maple that will be on the top of your Les Paul. You can pick your flamiest flames. You can pick, you know, Western maple or Eastern maple. You can pick quilted maple. If you want flamed koa or some other exotic wood, you can actually see it, hold it in your hands, play with it, see how 3D the top is, see if it disappears in certain light or whatever, see, you know, and pick it. And then go through all the neck profiles and pick your neck profile and pick which set of tuners you want, what set of pickups you want in it, and fretboard materials and inlays and all of that, and color swatches of all the different sunbursts and different color finishes you can have. And when you're done with that, then you can go into the Murphy Lab section and decide, do I want a high gloss guitar? Do I want a VOS guitar? Do I want ultralight? Do I want light, heavy, ultra heavy aging? And you can pick it up and feel it, you know. Ultra heavy looks cool, but then you feel the back of the neck and you go, oh man, maybe that's a little too worn and it's going to bug me. Like maybe I want heavy aging, or maybe the light aging is, you know, you can actually put your hands on this stuff, feel it, see it, order it, and then we send it all down the road, a few miles down the street to the custom shop, and they build it for you. Yeah,
I mean it's insane. It's almost like, how could you pick? It's like you just kind of throw a dart at one of the tops up there, and whichever one you hit.
They're all flamethrowers up there currently. We'll diversify the wood locker up there, but for right now, I just want, like, give me the ones that you can see the flame from outer space.
No, absolutely. I think that's it's pretty freaking cool. So you're right. I mean, what other experience can you walk in and can you do that? I'm not sure of one, if it does exist.
It does not exist for customers right now. And I want to bring it to more people. And it's something that I'm still working on here, because this has been kind of a heavy lift in its own.
Yeah.
But I want to create a virtual experience for people that can call in via FaceTime or Zoom or whatever.
Show them the
and
tops.
I can, in real time, you can see the wood, and you can pick your wood in real time via the internet and do a made to measure, not live in person, but, you know, virtually do a made to measure and pick all the stuff, just like if you were here in Nashville at the garage.
And I want people to know, this isn't something that got thrown together in a couple months. This is a long time coming.
This I started working on, you know, almost 2 years ago. And I literally finished merchandising it last week. Yeah. You know, obviously it was supposed to open in June of 2020, which we missed. We missed that deadline. We'll be about a year late, I think, on the deadline. Yeah. But, you know, construction
might be open by June.
Construction was completely halted and stopped. And
when did you move into this building?
We moved into this building in November of 2019. So we'll almost, we've been in about 18 months in this building.
Okay.
And I mean, we started working on it before we even moved into this space, from the concepting and what we wanted it to be and how we wanted things to work. And it's nice. It gave me another extra 6 months of really hyper focusing on every little detail in here. And I think when people come in, they'll kind of notice stuff when they're not even looking for it. They'll see little details that we're all, you know, thought out meticulously and almost over.
You've thought of everything. I mean, no. I mean, you've thought of everything. I mean, the fact that the way you were even talking about the pillars in this building, because this is a historic building.
This is a historic building. Those pillars had to become our friends.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Couldn't move them.
They couldn't be moved. So we had to kind of turn them into something cool. So that's really all your storytelling by shape of the history of Gibson, you know?
Yeah, I'm telling you, if anybody is in the Nashville area sometime after that open date, they absolutely have to come in here. And of course, you know, like Nashville is, you can come in and get a T-shirt, you can come in and buy, you can get books, you can get everything.
Here.
There's something for everybody.
And
here.
There's content and stuff to do, even if you're not a player and you're part of the party that the player is in.
Yeah.
There's plenty for you to see and do here while somebody else is checking out guitars. Yeah. There's no shortage of stuff to look at and stories to hear and films to watch and stuff to do.
So, you know, Mark, I know you've been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people want to know, I mean, last year was weird. Right now, people are selling guitars at incredible rates. And I think sometimes people, they just want to know, where are things going? I mean, you've got your pulse on the industry. Where do you think the guitar, especially the electric guitar industry, is going compared to, you know, like you said, 3 years ago, you know, we saw somebody made the comment that the electric guitar was dead.
Yeah, no, you know? It's stronger than it has probably. This is probably the strongest the guitar industry has been since the morning after the Beatles were on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
When that morning every kid woke up and decided he wanted to play guitar and I want to be in a band and be a rock star. I feel like this is the new renaissance of the guitar. It's happening right now. I don't see it slowing down for anyone in the industry. In terms of retail, I think people learned that those retailers who were already set up with a robust online presence reaped the benefits, and the people who didn't have their website in order, didn't have deep enough inventory in order, we're just in time inventorying stuff instead of having inventory on hand, did not reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of proved to everyone how important the online presence is, not just for sales, but also for content.
Yeah.
You know, for connecting with your customers.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, with Gibson TV, what you guys have been doing for the last couple of years, just how important is it that even the smallest business, you've got a music store in the Midwest, how important is it that video be a part of reaching your customer?
Look, I made a name for myself through video and social media. And I think for retailers especially, I think people get the wrong idea, or they get frustrated with social media because they're just not getting the number of likes that they want, and they're not getting the number of subscribers that they want, and the thing is, it's not about reaching thousands and thousands of people. It's about reaching one person. If you have a guitar and one person sees that post and goes, that's the one, and they call and buy it, what does it matter if 10,000 people liked it, or if you got you just connected with the customer and made a sale. So I think people get a little bit caught up in how many subscribers they have, the numbers and the metrics. You know, that's fine if you want to try and grow a channel and grow all that stuff. But ultimately, in the retail business, all you care about is selling.
Yeah.
So if you can connect with one person and make a sale, then you sold it. You did it. You succeeded. It was a success. So regular content, daily regular content, and have it be personal. Have it show your staff. Let people get to know your staff. That's people, important. You know, understand the personalities of your staff. Let people fall in love with the playing of somebody on your staff. They'll tune in again because they like the way they play. You know, you got to build it. You have to be prepared for it. You got to make it look good. You got to probably invest a little bit of money into some gear, and you got to do it every day.
That's the thing. And actually, that's what I want everybody to hear, is the fact that you do get discouraged very quickly, because social media and video content is very easy to not see those immediate results.
Yeah.
And it's easy to fall away, but you have to stick with it. You have to continue with it and make relevant content.
You have to keep doing it. I mean, I did Guitar of the Day when I was at Norman's Rare Guitars. I did 734 episodes of the show 5 days a week for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Every day of the week that we were open for 3.5 years, I did a new video. And by the end, when we started doing it, nobody watched it.
Sure.
Nobody, we didn't. But you keep putting it up at the same time every day, and you do it every single day of the week, and you continue to do it every day of the week and it starts to catch on, and people start to find it. And it got to the point where I would do a guitar on Guitar of the Day.
Yeah.
And we would post it, and I'd be sitting at home eating dinner with my family, and I'm getting emails. Yeah. And by the time I'm done eating dinner, it's already sold. Before I even get back to the store the next morning, it's sold.
Yeah.
And then you start, it was like every guitar that I did sold, because at that point you have such a big following. Again, all it takes is one person to want that one guitar.
That's right.
And it's sold.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't do it, nobody knows you have it.
And it's interesting. There's they're actually a Gibson Epiphone dealer at Maxwell's House of Music up in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And we're talking with him. He started an episode called Gear 30, and they put it out at the same time. Yeah. They did it on the same channel, and he swore at the very beginning the only person watching it was his mom. But he just did it, and then he said one day he pulled up to get some fast food at a place, and the person that handed him his food out the window said, "Hey, you're that guy from that Gear 30 show, aren't you?" So just to prove that you just stick to it, you keep moving it, and it pays off.
It's not easy, and it's not instant.
It's not easy.
And it's not instant, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. It's the cheapest marketing that you can do. Once you own the gear, and you got to staff them, it's already paid for. Yeah. You just got to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, also, we cannot end this without talking about the fact that you guys acquired Mesa Boogie.
Mesa Boogie. We're so excited.
Man, congratulations on that, man. Yeah, talk about another huge brand that's affected music globally.
I mean, you talk about boutique amplifiers. There's so many companies of boutique amplifiers. They were the first.
Oh, yeah.
Randall was the first guy to say, I can tweak this and tweak that and do something better. And that's where it all started. We're so proud to have Mesa on as part of the Gibson brands, and we can't wait to see what we can all do together. I mean, we're still integrating as teams and getting everybody transitioned over to Gibson and all that kind of stuff. But the future is very, very bright.
Yeah, absolutely.
For Mesa Boogie.
I remember just even, back in the day, you walk into a store and you'd see Mesa Boogie, and you'd see these heads in like these purple covers and green covers. And I'm looking at them going, I don't even know what a triple rectifier is. But it was the boutique, it was the high-end amplifier that everybody wanted to own.
Yeah, so it's very, very exciting to have them on, and I'm still getting familiar with all of the. I normally use the Mesa Boogie Fillmore when I do all the Gibson demos, because it just does kind of everything. So I'm still getting deep into all of the different amps right now and learning all the stuff myself. But I love the Fillmore.
Yeah.
The Fillmore is kind of my go-to in the Mesa line. Yeah, unless I really need to get nuts. And if I really got to get nuts, I'll go with the Badlander or a triple rec or one of the nuts amps. But
absolutely. So absolutely very cool. And of course, anybody who comes into the Gibson Garage, you can see an entire display of where people can plug them in.
They're all here again, just like everything else. You can pretty much, if there's one you want to hear, if you come here, it's here, and you can plug a guitar into it and play it. Universal Audio partnered with us.
Excellent.
Got Universal Audio aux boxes on top of all of the amps. People can put on headphones, crank up as loud as they want, and still keep the experience for everyone else.
Not killing
out here.
people.
That's my new vision of retail.
Yeah.
Is everybody's in an aux cranked up and having a blast, and everybody else can still sit and have a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
And enjoy everything else that's going on in here.
Yeah, man. Man, Mark, this has been a great conversation. It's just it's an honor to come here and just kind of see what you guys are working on.
You're one of the first.
Gibson is an iconic brand, and even the Gibson brands, it's affected the world of music globally for
127 years
over
now.
my lifetime. That's right, 127 years, and everybody needs to come here. Anything else? I always try to like end episodes where we talk and go, if somebody came to you and they had a small business and they said, Mark, I need some words of wisdom. What's one thing you would tell them that they need to be doing this year to help their business grow?
It goes back to the social media thing and content again.
Yeah.
It doesn't, shoot it on your phone. It doesn't cost anything. All it costs is the time and the creativity to figure out what it is you're going to do.
Everybody thinks it needs to be expensive looking.
At Norm's, like when we did guitar, it was one camera with a little microphone sitting on the front of it and handheld flying around. It was the least pro setup in that you could possibly imagine would be successful. But people don't really care about the setup if the content's compelling.
Yeah.
So, put your staff and their talents to use. If you don't know what the heck is going on, find somebody on your staff that does and let them handle it. It's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. And you can start to build your culture online and people will find it if you continue to do it relentlessly. But it has to be relentless. It has to become a part of your life.
Yeah.
Every single day that your doors are open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, and I got to ask this. I've just been thinking about this. Who's your most influential guitar player on your life?
Oh, there's a bunch. It probably was Eddie Van Halen. I got to meet him shortly after I started playing guitar.
Okay.
I met him when I was like 12 years old backstage at Blossom Music Center in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. My dad.
Up by Cleveland?
Yeah, kind of a little bit south of Cleveland, like kind of in between
Akron.
Akron.
In Columbus.
Yeah, I grew up in Akron, so it was kind of in there. And a couple years after I started playing, and I went backstage because my dad worked at the radio station that was promoting the show, so I got to go backstage, and I met Ed, and it was just like, okay, oh my God. And then, we had this radio station seats, which I've always had the luxury of having good seats for free because of the radio station. And I sat there and I watched him do his guitar solo that night. And I got home the next day with purpose. And it's like, all right, I gotta learn. I gotta do some work. That night kind of really set me on the journey I'm still on today, even though I'm not a professional guitar player anymore. My love of the guitar, I think, really, really solidified that night. But Kirk Hammett was a huge influence on me. Stevie Ray Vaughan was a huge influence on me. Keith Richards is probably my favorite guitar player now. Anybody with a unique right hand.
Why Keith Richards?
You got to look at the man's body of work.
Yeah, sure.
And then for me, I'm a right hand guitar player. I love great right hands. Obviously, Eddie's right hand, whether it was tapping or picking notes, was incredible. Stevie Ray Vaughan's right hand was just devastating, how he could deliver a note. Keith Richards' controlled sloppiness with his right hand.
That was a great way to put that.
That really can't be replicated by anyone other than Keith, and barely can be replicated by Keith the same time twice. There's just so much personality in that playing. It's so different than anybody else. And you hear other people play Rolling Stone songs that just never sounds the same. But you got a band that doesn't follow the drummer. You have a band that follows the guitar player. What does that tell you about that guy's right hand?
Sure, absolutely.
That's I'm far more concerned with how somebody delivers the notes than all the notes that they're playing over here, which I think a lot of people kind of get focused on how fast somebody's doing stuff and how many notes. It's not that playing a lot of notes is even bad. I like me and Bonamassa talk about how much we love to overplay and overplaying and all that stuff.
I love overplaying.
Why the hell am I doing this if I'm not going to overplay? But it's really about how they hit the note.
Yeah.
I mean, how they deliver the note is the personality.
No, absolutely. I mean, you can't deny that the solo on Comfortably Numb is one of the best guitar solos
it's all
ever.
Because of his right hand.
And yeah, that's exactly right. So, and going back to Eddie, obviously with his passing, just recently, it, hit the world. How'd you take that? I mean,
it was funny. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, Nick Perry, who's one of our artists, and Nick, his first band Silvertide opened like 65 dates for Van Halen on the first reunion tour. So him and Eddie were really, really close, and we had been playing phone tag all day, and we finally got each other on the phone. And like 2 minutes into our phone call, both of our phones dinged with the message, and we both just kind of went silent for a second, and it was just like, dude, like, we're gonna have to finish this call.
Always the same
tomorrow.
way.
Yeah, it was. I hate it wasn't shocking. Yeah, because I knew kind of enough people close to the camp that I knew that it was bad. So I wasn't not expecting to get that news. I wasn't expecting to get it that day. Yeah, I was totally caught by surprise.
Yeah, it did. It came over on my phone. I was standing there at work, and it did. And you just all of a sudden, it's like you took a couple minutes of silence. You just had to show reverence to, in my opinion, the man that changed the landscape of guitar. I mean, every guitar player that you like that's playing right now only exists because Eddie did what he did.
Whether they know it or not.
Whether they know it or not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because whether they know it or not, or they had any direct influence, if they were influenced by somebody else that came before them, that person was definitely influenced by Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I heard my dad played me Eruption, and I was too young to really even know
what is this witchcraft?
What the hell I was listening to. But then
That's right.
Eruption ends, and then it goes into You Really Got Me. And it was just like, that sound.
Yeah.
That's what rock and roll electric guitar is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
And I have chased, and I am still chasing, and I will probably always chase that tone for the rest of my life, and it has never gotten better than that for me. In the 38 years I've been on this planet, I have never heard a rock and roll electric guitar sound more inspiring than that juiced Marshall with the Schaefer tower in front of it and a tape echo, and I bought all that stuff, and it's still not right.
Yeah,
and I think it's probably user error. It's probably,
that's right. Well,
it's probably the guy behind the wheel.
I know I'm going to slaughter this quote, but I know Nuno Betancourt said one time that he sat down and played Eddie's rig, and he was extremely disappointed because he said he sounded like him playing. He sounded like Nuno playing the guitar just through his gear. Yeah. So it's just something that he had. He was, that man was created to be on this earth to do exactly what he did.
Absolutely.
And to do nothing else.
Yeah.
So
still hurts.
I know.
That one's going to hurt forever.
No, I did. And my I've got three kids and my two boys, trying to impress upon them when I went home that night and told them that, my wife was like, "Did you see Eddie passed?" And she's like, "Yeah, I saw that come through." And of course they're like, "Well," they had heard of him, but trying to describe to Eddie to where my 14 and my 11-year-old understand,
just how
who
much
he
changed
was.
The game.
Yeah, changed everything. And it's like you cannot go back and live those years again. And in fact, Ian and I talk about that. One of the most innocent things you can never have back again is that first time you heard music that just changed your life or influenced you. Like when you heard that Eruption, you keep wanting to have that feeling back, and it's so hard to chase. It's like you can't get that. It only comes once in a lifetime.
Yeah, he was special, man. We all owe him a lot. Yeah. In this industry.
That's right. Well, Mark, man, I appreciate it, man. We're coming up on our time.
Thank you guys for coming by and checking the place out. And hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, everybody needs to just come and see it because if you're a Gibson fan or any of the Gibson brands fan, then you will absolutely find exactly what you'd like.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
appreciate
thanks for
it.
having
Me. You bet, man.
Cheers.
The Music Retail Show is brought to you by MIRC LLC, providing solutions for the musical instrument community by being a reliable source for diverse music products. If you need inventory for your music store, pawn shop, or e-commerce site, go to mircweb.com to find out more.